Hello, my name is Joshua Croker, and today I will explain my process of making games on Khan Academy. I do not use this exact process for every game, but this is generally the sequence of events. To start, I find an idea. This is not hard. I am drowning in ideas. I have enough stories and gameplay ideas for a lifetime. Once I've chosen an idea from my personal ocean, I start working on the tricky functionality. Often, my original idea involves this functionality. First, I'll make basic computer-controlled movement patterns and also player movement. Then, I'll add the fun stuff, the stuff that requires some serious math and brain power. Sometimes, I'll come up with a new pathfinding system. Other times, I'll make a new collision for characters to crash into. The end result is long lines of math-filled code. They make perfect sense to me at the time, but are nigh unreadable if I try to edit them later. When the main functionality is done, I'll start working on graphics. For many people, this is the fun, creative, relaxing part. For me, it's the hard, boring, woeful part. I'm not great at graphics. Have a tiny library of graphics I can make. Most of my graphics are actually designed by others as part of a collaboration. However, I am improving. When I am in the right frame of mind, I can make decent graphics. Once the basics are done, I work on content. This includes weapons, characters, enemies, levels, and other things of that nature. Although this is the easiest part, it is also the part where I tend to give up. I'll get bogged down in repetition, especially if a new feature requires changing previously made code. Adding new content feels like a factory assembly job where you spend the whole day putting new parts together as they arrive on the conveyor belt. The time I code best is surprisingly when I have the least time. If I only have a few minutes, I'm a lot more likely to use those minutes efficiently. If I have hours, I'll stall, play around, and very slowly get things done. The key, I've found, is self-discipline. Finally, I finished the content. All that is left by this point is polishing. I don't mean making it shiny, I mean fixing glitches. I discover bugs and fix them. I play through the game and adjust the difficulty. This continual playtesting tends to result in me getting really skilled at my game. For example, one of my games, Agent Hopper, seemed easy when I played it. When others played it, though, they continually complained of the constant difficulty. For this reason, I will let friends playtest the game, suggest changes, and report glitches. Once this is done, I release the game. On Khan Academy, this means copy-pasting it into a new program. Once saved, it appears on lists of programs. From these lists, people can find and play people's games. Feedback starts coming in, like water from a leaky roof. Early feedback tends to discover glitches that need to be fixed and developer features that were not removed. Later feedback is more about the entertainment level of the program. In games with any kind of score, there are lots of comments about high scores. One interesting thing I have found is that competition in a game tends to boost its popularity as people play more to try to beat the high score. For example, in one of my games, Lone Survivor, the gameplay is quite simple. All you do is run around killing enemies and collecting food and weapons. It doesn't even have limited ammunition, yet it was surprisingly popular. Even I sometimes play it again to try to beat the high score, which shows the power of competition. In time, the feedback peters out as the program becomes older. Once the feedback recedes, though, the game remains in my portfolio as another example of a successful project. I've made a decent number of programs on Khan Academy, but my goal is to become professional. On Khan Academy, the only revenue I get is votes. While votes are nice, they're not really the kind of thing I can make a living on. I plan to learn to release a game on an app store, probably for phones and tablets. I'm learning to use the game engine Unity, but I'm always looking out for other methods. Once I figure out how to release games professionally, I intend to go through the same process, except that I'll release it on an app store instead of Khan Academy. Thank you for listening, and feel free to critique this speech or anything you notice on my blog, including my games.